All right, final call of the day. Call from a 612. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Hello?
The final call of the day. Stay on the line, folks.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, are you in like a
panic
some
room?
type of civic center or something like that? Talking on a speakerphone?
No. Here, let me try this. I don't know. Is this better?
Yeah, it is a little bit.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Oh my God.
He hung up on himself. He hung up on himself, I swear to God. He hung up on himself. That is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Touche. All right. Going to 951.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. This is Jordan from Southern California.
Jordan from Southern California. What's on your mind?
Hey, I was calling because I'm a Amazon delivery driver.
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually listening to the show while on the road, but I took the day off today because I'm sick from the long woke. But after you guys were talking earlier about AI and how it's threatening the workforce, and I was also remembering the interview, Emma, that you did with I think it was Adrian Hahn on gamification. And I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the work environment I'm in every day, because when I talk to friends and family about it, or even other drivers, they seem a little ambivalent or even like pro the surveillance I'm under, because they believe what Amazon says, that it's all for driver safety and on the road safety, which I think is a total lie, and this van is basically Big Brother. Are you guys aware of the degree to which Amazon drivers are surveyed?
I mean, I'm aware. I was more conscious of the factories, and I know that there's like a certain timeline, and you have to be out of the truck for you can't be out of the truck for too long.
The bathroom break stuff sort of permeated a little bit too.
Well, but be more specific with us.
Big. There's a camera under the rear view mirror. It is an AI camera surveillance system in all the Amazon vans that have 4 cameras, a forward-facing camera pointed at the road, a camera on each side, and a camera pointed toward the driver. The camera marks safety infractions and reports them, not very effectively. Like the driver-pointed camera looks for distracted driving, which I have been dinged for because I was scratching my face. So the AI thought I was talking on the phone. It's marked people for screwing off the cap of their water bottle. The camera tracks the driver's eyes so that if you are looking away from the road for 5 seconds or longer, you get a safety infraction. The other cameras also have their own list of safety infractions that it looks for.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane. And then, Amazon drivers are more likely than other delivery drivers. I saw a study that showed 2.5 times more likely to face injury due to the high workload and being rushed during routes. Over 20% of Amazon drivers were injured on the job in 2021. So, the idea that Amazon
1 out of 5
for driver safety. Yeah, 1 out of 5 in 2021 was a study. I mean, obviously, COVID and everything, we had a really, really high workload at the time. It's still high. It's a little bit better, but it's still really, really high, and we're pushed to our limits quite often. Most people do not take breaks. Peeing in bottles is very, very common and gross. And we're given a score every day up to 850 on this app called Mentor that looks at things like hard braking, hard acceleration, hard cornering, all this stuff that we're graded on every single day. It's totally gamified. It's rarely ever accurate, but and if you do bad, then you're fired or not given good routes. And if you do good, then they give you swag bucks, which is buy Amazon gear with, so you can promote Amazon.
Nice.
They don't give us actual bonuses.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I wanted to kind of talk about that, because you guys will talk sometimes about AI and how it's taking workers' jobs, but there's also this insane precedent being set by the number one employer in the country to use AI as this Big Brother program, and no one really seems to care or talk about it.
I think people are probably just needing to get more information out. But it is surprising to me that other workers aren't bothered by it.
Yeah, I think people were definitely, because the camera system came out in 2021. I started right after COVID hit and I needed employment. And we didn't have that camera system then. We did have a scoring system, but we didn't have the camera. And when the camera came in, people were really freaked out about it. And all the drivers were like really upset about it. And then within a month or 2 months, you just kind of accept it. There's nothing you can do. There's not really a path to unionization because of the delivery service structure that Amazon has. I'm not employed directly through Amazon. I'm employed through another company that partners with Amazon, and that's how 90+% of Amazon drivers work. It's all third party.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
So,
that explains it.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate the call.
All DSPs.
And if you have any, stories or anything else on it, feel free to send it to us at majorityreports@gmail.com.
Will do. Thanks for taking the call.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wow. All right, folks, that ends the phone call portion of the program. We'll read a couple of IMs. And then we will wrap things up. Iowa Ryan, Meatball Ron and COVID Kim will be 5 minutes from my house on Friday. I work otherwise. I would go and call him Meatball Ron in person.
Who's COVID Kim?
I imagine Kim Reynolds, of governor of Iowa.
Ah, gotcha.
Skippy McGee. I would love to see Erin Reed on the show to talk about the deluge of anti-trans legislation. She's done a great job tracking this stuff. Thanks for being unflinching, Tran allies, and keep up the good work. That's a good idea.